Hi, it's Donna again. It's really great to be with you here from week to week and time to time. Whenever you're listening to this, whether you're watching it on the website or you're hearing it on the podcast or you might be watching it on Facebook or on YouTube, I'm just so glad that you've taken a few minutes to stop by here. Today, we're going to talk about what you do when you get off track or how you deal with the thought process of, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just got through watching a program called Fit to Fat to Fit, and it's on A&E. You may have seen it. It's my first experience of watching it over the last couple of days. I've noticed it. And what happens is a personal trainer gains a lot of weight and then works with someone who's struggling with being overweight and out of health to lose that weight, and they lose weight at the same time. And it helps them to kind of understand the struggles of being a person who is battling health and weight issues and trying to do that exercise when you're carrying extra weight, which I've shared before that I was a person that weighed 60 pounds more than I do right now and having to work through that process. And I lost quite a bit of weight and then I put a few pounds back on, and trying to lose that weight the second time has been tricky because it's easy to get off track. Now, this isn't just about losing weight or getting healthy or anything like that, but it's true that in anything we do, we can end up off track. We can have big goals and big desires and big dreams and find ourselves not where we wanted to be. And we can become discouraged and we can decide, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm just tired of the fight. I'm tired of the battle. I am ready to be done. And so we can find ourselves either in business or in our personal life or in relationships or in pursuing a career or anything that we might be working toward, finding ourselves in that place where we just put our hands up and say, I give up. I give up. I'm done. So how do we get on track and stay on track when we find ourselves in a disappointing place? And for me, a few of the things that I've done is what I call the big idea project ladder. And in that process, what I do is I look at the big picture of what I want to accomplish and then create steps all the way up to that so that I give myself a little bit of support underneath. I develop some confidence in pursuing it. I develop some strength. I identify some of the things that are working and some of the things that are not. And then I'm able to have a more cohesive plan, which is important for me. I'm not a big time do everything by the dot and by the line, but I like to have an overall plan. And you may be a person who needs each element 1, 2, 3, ABC, or you may be a person who just, if you can have a big idea mind map, then that helps you too. So here's a few tips that might help you to get on track or maybe even stay on track. And the first of those is, what is that big goal? What is that big project? What is that big idea that you're working toward? And get everything that you want to do put on a piece of paper. For me, I had a lot of things I wanted to accomplish this year, but what had happened, because I didn't have a cohesive plan or strategy, I was trying to do everything all at one time, and guess what? Couldn't get anything done. It was just maddening. I always felt like I was failing at the thing that I wanted to do more than anything else. So I created a list and put everything down. And then I started to work on ways that I could break each of those elements down and put them into a quarterly, a 90-day process and work on little bitty pieces. So if you have a big, big business goal and you need to make some connections to make that happen, it's easier if you start in smaller pieces and working your way up to that place of authority and ability to be known as a person who is recognized in your field or in your area. So you can take a little piece like that and work it through. Or maybe you're writing a book and you want to be able to have a big launch for that within the year. Well, you don't wait to create your connections till 11 months out. No, you start that now. You start the process now. You start writing every day. You begin to work a little piece of it at a time in your marketing. You learn more about what you want to do. You find the experts that can help you work through that process. So each project or big idea that you have, what are the little pieces you can put in place? Now, along the way, what you'll find are there's some things that you thought you really wanted, thought that were super important to you that become a dud. And so my idea for you there is dump the duds. If they're not bringing life, if they're not bringing passion, if they're not bringing strength to the ultimate big picture goal, you need to dump them. Just get rid of them because they're creating conflict when you don't need that. And when you release those, what happens is you end up with this beautiful white space. And in the white space, you can be more creative and you can walk along your path more creatively, and you'll find more ease and grace in the areas where you really have the passion and really have the desire to do the work. And along the process there, then you're going to find that you have more creative ideas for maybe the things that aren't so fun. Because let's face it, all of our projects have a few frogs in them, right? And you've heard Mark Twain's saying, probably, I'm guessing, eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. Every bit of business, every bit of life has a few live frogs. And my suggestion is for you to figure out what those are and put them toward the beginning of your week or the beginning of your day and get rid of those things. Don't procrastinate the frogs, because nothing's worse than to have a week's worth of frogs sitting in a bowl on your desk or in your counter or wherever you happen to be working, and you have to deal with those all at one time. Ugh, a bowl of frogs. Think about that. And you know what happens if you really hate them? You put them off till the next week, and then you start your week with a bowl of frogs. So find a way to get rid of those frogs on a daily basis, or at least in a way that makes sense for you. My strong suit is not financial planning. It's not about doing all of that stuff. I will put it off till the very dead end if I can, but that doesn't serve me. So I've learned that I have to pay attention to those finances, and if I can get them done in the beginning of my week, then they're not nagging at me, thinking, grabbing all of my attention. And when I'm in that beautiful creative space, I'm spending all my time doing the things I love, I don't have this frog voice saying, hey, how about your books? What'd you do? Have you done your accounting? Have you sent out those invoices? Ugh, financial frogs. That's my deal. You have something else. You may be a big financial guru, but you hate to write your blog post, or you hate to send out letters, or you hate to get on the telephone. Do that stuff first. Open up that white space, and then you can be more creative. And you know, sometimes what you need to do is take a break and go out with your friends. You need to spend the time where you are laughing and enjoying yourself, or maybe your place of getting energy is whenever you're reading a book or you're sitting someplace quiet. Do that too, because that is as important as getting the work done. High achievers, high performers typically feel like they never get everything done and never get everything accomplished that they need to do, and they're always on their own back criticizing the work they've done. Find the space of time in order to have some rest and rejuvenation. If you find yourself off track, it's really possible that you've ignored one of these areas. You either don't have your big picture plan, or you don't have enough creative white space, or you're working on something that really has no passion, or you're just having to look at all those weeks of frogs that have caught up with you, maybe you also need some rest time and some rejuvenation time. So, as you're going through the next few days, ask yourself those questions. Do you have your plan in place? Do you know what your big picture is? And have you broken it down into pieces that you can work on systematically to support you and build you up to the creation of your big idea, project, or goal? If you haven't done that, that's where you want to start first. And then, if you've already done that, ask yourself, are you spending too much time on a dud project? Is there someone else that can handle that for you, or is it even necessary at all? Maybe you just need to toss that sucker in the waste can and go on about your business. Check out those frogs. I know I've talked a lot about them. Check out those frogs. What are the things that you're not doing that need to be done that are stealing all of your joy and energy? And last but not least, get out there and have some fun. Do something great that rejuvenates and gives you energy. I'll bet you if all you want to do is sit in a corner and eat popcorn and watch TV or ignore what's going on, you've missed a step somewhere. If you can grab hold of these very, very easy principles, put them into play, you'll find it's easier to get back on track. It's easier to stay on track, whatever your goal is. Whether it's taking over the world or losing 10 pounds or making a new friend or getting out of debt, there's a way to get it done if you just follow the steps, step by step, stay on track, and get where you want to go. Thanks for listening today. Remember, you can always find me at donnawoolham.com. You can always subscribe to the audio portion of this, the strictly audio, on iTunes and Stitcher. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, where everybody is. Look for me as Donna Woolham or Donna K. Woolham with my middle initial. And let's stay connected. I want to hear from you. Do you have a plan that keeps you on track? Do you have a way that works for you? Let me know. Put it in the comments wherever you find this. And please share this with someone you know is struggling and needs a simple plan to get going again. Thanks so much for staying with me. Share this with your friends. Come back and visit with me again. Have a super awesome, wonderful, living at my best day.